Hi, it's Megan. I have had the flu, as you can probably hear from my voice, and it's not 100% gone yet, but so I haven't been able to do videos because I haven't had much of a voice, but this is, I don't know, on the upswing. So I decided to get a video done that I promised to do. I had promised to do a video tutorial for the Cool Mats, the Viseart Cool Mats palette, which is just released not that long ago. And this is 07, and so I had done a review, and I'll put a link to that video in the description to this video. But I had said if anyone was interested in a tutorial that I would do one. So I'm actually going to do one specific look, and I'll describe that look in a minute. But if you see the palette, so these are cool and they're mattes, as the title says. You have some really nice light kind of base shades up here, which also can be used for just a very neutral, brownish, naked look. And then you've got some depth here. The pink is actually quite vibrant, but still light enough that you can use it a little bit up here if you're careful. And then down here you've got kind of a little bit more exciting colors, grays, black, and then kind of a purpley gray, a blue. And so kind of the concept that I would look at this palette as encompassing is that you can do just a basic look, obviously, a basic nude look, but then you also have the ability to add a lot of real depth and smokiness if you want to. And there's enough color that you can actually do kind of a wild color look. I thought about doing one with like this particular shade right here, which is actually kind of a deep plum. I'll get a very good swatch there. Right there, I actually still didn't get a good swatch. Just sometimes not so confident. You can see it's like a really great plum, and this looks a little spotty as I put it on, but these blend really beautifully. In fact, one of the things that's nice about them is you put them on and they actually go where you put them. So I've had to kind of adjust my application only because they are so precise, and I found most shadows I need to be a little bit more diligent to get it exactly where I want it. These just go exactly where I want it, and they're super pigmented. You can also do some really smoky grays, purples, mixing in the blues or this kind of a color to just add a little bit less flatness, because sometimes on me at least, if I do all grays it's too cool, or if I do all cool browns I just look a little bit flat and dead. And then obviously with the blacks and whatnot you can really smoke it up. So I'm going to do just a basic look that I was wearing the other day and I really liked, because I knew I was going to do a tutorial. I thought, okay, what do I really want to do? And what I decided to do is mix the grays right here, these two, with this purple, the pink, and then a little bit of a highlight shade. And this highlight shade is just a good neutral. It is very cool toned, but it just isn't a flat white. So it's going to be a little bit more forgiving. The other look I really seriously considered was taking a lot of these browns and then mixing a little bit of this kind of burgundy plum in, or the blue, and just adding that extra oomph to one of those nude brown looks that sometimes makes me look dead. And this does have some really beautiful browns in it, but I just decided to go for the gray, only because I think browns are easier. Mixing in this kind of smoky purple and the pink, it's kind of fun, and it's also what I've been wearing more of. I have on, I've already done my lips and my cheeks and a little bit of bronzer just to contour a tiny bit. I don't do a lot of contour, just a little. And I've got the foundation on. But this is the Crescendo Blush from Chanel, which is just a really great pink, very cool toned. And I just put a little bit right on the, dotted on the apple of my cheeks, because with a blush, not 100% yet, I can promise you that. With a blush this bright and pigmented, I really don't need that much, but you can see it's a soft pink. It's a pigmented pink that adheres really well, but it's just a soft one, so I can kind of dot it on, and it makes me look actually like I'm not sick, like I'm a little bit alive. And the reason why I did the blush and the lipstick before, honestly, is because I said I would do a tutorial for the eyes, but I actually look quite bad without makeup on, since I am still recovering from the flu. So having just a little bit of color in my face makes me look better. And then I did the lipstick from that same collection, the Vera Voltante, which is just a vivid kind of rosy pink. This one is a little bit cool toned, not a lot cool toned. As far as lips with this palette and blushes, you can go with the cool tone look, which, like I said, I've been kind of wearing this muted, mixing in a little color kind of a thing this fall. I'm liking the Chanel La Pearl collection, which has that kind of a feel, kind of a smoky muted look. And then I also really like this Viseart palette, and then I've also been using the Viseart Sultry or Paris Nudes, whatever it is, the Paris one, just because it has the same sort of a look, but that one has shimmer. I just really like that better than the brights for spring for me this year. I don't know why. I like it. It's a little bit more sophisticated. So you can go with these super cooler toned-ish things, or this palette is really flexible enough that you can warm it up. You have to be a little careful. You don't want to go too crazy with super warm tone, crazy pigmented, summery sort of blushes, because I think that's going to look a little artificial with this type of a muted look on your eyes. But if you're careful, you actually can bring in some really deep oranges and whatnot on the lips. Just my personal thing. Bring it in on the lips, personal taste thing. It's not that it's bad on the cheeks. I just think that it's a more attractive look, and that maybe that it's just a more attractive look on me. But it works that way. Muted eyes, muted cheeks, bright lips. And if you really smoke up the eyes, then I've also done just very soft lavenders, pinks, even some of those pinks that can be really hard to wear. Those kind of marshmallow white pinks look really pretty with this palette, or the same with the lavenders. If you have kind of those newer, trendier brands, or MAC does those kind of colors too. This is a great palette if you can't figure out how to wear those matte, white-based, unusual, extremely cool toned lipsticks. So let's start with doing the looks. I try to keep these videos somewhat short, and I do both eyes when I do a tutorial, just because some people might not need to see it twice. I kind of do when I'm watching other people do it, so I just figure if I need to do it, other people will as well. So I'm going to take just the shades I'm going to use. Let me start right now. I'm going to use this one right here, the one in the corner. I'm going to use the pink, and I'm going to use the purple and the two grays. So first, I'm going to put the lighter base shade up here, and I'm just using a flatter eyeshadow brush. With this type of a palette, I actually like a flatter eyeshadow brush like this, a little bit stiffer, because I like precise application, and this palette lets me do it. And I do have to blend later though. So now I'm taking the pink and I'm just putting that in the inner corner like this. And you can see it's a really pigmented but light, muted pink. And it kind of opens up my eyes, in my opinion. And then I'm going to take the lighter gray. Some people don't like putting the lighter colors right in the middle of their lid. I actually really like it because I don't like the heaviness in the middle of the lid. I have big eyes, so my eyes can look overdone very easily, but I've also found people that have smaller or hooded eyes, putting a little bit of a light shade right in the middle actually is super flattering because it makes their eyes look less heavy. Then I'm taking actually a little bit more of that. And I'm going to take a little bit of the pink. Oh no, I won't do that yet. I'll do that later. Then I'm taking the darker gray and putting that in the outer corner. And then I'm going to take, do both sides, and then I'm going to blend a little bit. And so it's kind of a, I'm taking a, it's not technically a blending brush, but this is the one I decided I wanted to use for blending today. Because it's so loose, it's like a blending brush. So we've just got a really soft look so far. I move the camera a little bit so you can see better. Now what I naturally always want to do is start taking some of that dark gray and putting it into the crease, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that purplish gray right down here, and I'm going to do it with that one. So here I'm going to use, I'm actually going to use this brush. I'm going to use two brushes. I'm going to use a really small eyeshadow brush. It's flat and thin. Let's do it there where you can see it better. Same color as my wall. And then I'm going to use this, I don't know, it's called a blending brush, but shading brush also. So first I'm going to take just a little bit, and I'm just going to start sketching it here. So I like to start out sketching with just a little brush like this. And I'm going to go almost all the way in. If I go all the way in, I look really hard. It's a very bad look on me. I had a friend when I was in high school who told me to go halfway, and so you can go halfway. But with this color, because it's a little bit more muted, I'm going to go a little bit further. And then I'm just going to take the same brush, wipe it on my sweatpants, which we'll wash in a minute. And I'm going to take the white and put a little bit of that in here. Now what I did when I was playing around with it a couple days ago is I took a really shimmery, glistening white as well and did the same. So this is an off-white, but I took a shimmery, glistening white and I did that, and that was really pretty too. But for the video, I'm just going to stick with this particular palette, and it's just a different look. This is a little bit more soft, muted, but you can also take a shimmery one. But I like to make sure that the whole part of the eye is lined in something, even if it's just something almost skin color or just off of skin color, a highlight shade. It looks better on me. It looks more polished. Now I'm going to take the bigger brush and I'm going to dip that into, and I'm going to start dotting, because I'm kind of dotting and swiping a little bit. I don't want to put it on too heavy, but I want it to gradually get wider as it moves out. And then that I'm going to take, these are really firm bristles on this particular brush. It's an Urban Decay one. I'm going to put that in the crease. And then right in here. I always have the hardest time with the outer corner. I think it's because my eyes water a little bit, so right out in there, I tend to have a really hard time getting the shadows to stay. And so, depending on your eye shape, you can put more in the crease, especially right in here. If you have an almond-shaped eye, for example, you can really play up the outer corners, or kind of both extremes. You can play up the outer corners, or if my daughter is under, you can also just very softly, you don't want to have it too dark right in here, but you can very softly pat in the lighter color, and it adds a little bit more depth into your eye. So I'm going to put a little bit more here. So this is a very simple look, and I'm going to do more to it. This is my start. I'm actually going to do the mascara really quickly now. I hate this mascara. It just happened to be the one that I grabbed, so don't take anything. I usually like Lancome, but this particular Lancome clumps up on my lashes. It's the Definiciels, I think. Just their basic. Yeah, Definiciels. It's just not their best. All brands have things that aren't their best. So I already had a little bit of it on this morning. That's why I grabbed this one. It was just the one I grabbed when I was running out the door. Now I'm going to add a couple things to it. So first, I'm going to blot my lips. And kind of not fully take off the color, but smudge the color a little bit so that it's not quite as bold. So I'm going to start playing up the eyes a little bit more. And then this is one of the, this is Choo Choo, right? Is it Choo Choo? This is Choo Choo again from the same Chanel. Just softening the lips, adding a little bit of gloss. The Pearl collection. So we've still got color and pigmentation going on, but it's just not as much. Now I'm going to take the first bit of black, and I'm going to take my favorite Lancome Le Cool eyeliner and put that right on the upper waterline. And I go all the way in. The reason I like the Le Cool is that it bleeds a little bit on the lower waterline, but I don't get the harsh blackness if I just do the lower waterline directly. With all these kind of smokier shades, I'm finding smokier, muted, matte, or pastelish kind of shades, I'm finding that putting that little bit of black makes a huge difference in the look. It just looks a lot better. It looks more polished, it looks more done, it just makes my eyes pop. So that's one of my favorite things. The next thing I'm going to do is not take that one. I'm going to take just a little eyeliner brush, and because the Viseart shadows are so pigmented and apply so well, I actually don't need to wet them to line the eye. So I'm just kind of, usually I would do this before putting the mascara on, but since I wanted to start adding layers, I did the mascara first, so it's going to be a little bit messier than normal. The stiff eyelashes kind of make it harder. But I'm just patting a little bit of it dry, going all the way, again, very softly in. I pat it kind of almost joining that inner waterline. And I'm going to do it on both eyes. So now we're just defining the eye with black. And you could do gray, you could even do the purple. I'm just trying to show how you can really darken it a little bit if you want it for like evening or for a smokier. Since they're these smoky, sultry shades, they end up being smoky and sultry anyway. It's a little bit messier with the mascara, but that's okay. And then I always put just a little bit in the corner here. I find that that just defines my eyes a lot better. It just makes them look better, bigger. And then this I would blend. I would take actually my little shadow brush to blend it, because I want it not to disperse. I just want it to blend right into the eyeshadow, I mean the eyebrow, into the eyelashes, like that. And then if you want, you can start playing with, again, my little shadow brush, just adding more black, and then into the outer corner as well, like this. And then this is really just how much you want to build up. You can build up in the outer corner, right in that crease. I actually don't put it right down in here personally because it makes my eyes look heavy. It looks like too much makeup on me. But then it's always blend, blend, blend. You can actually get quite a lot of black on your eye without looking crazy just by blending. I'm only doing one eye here. But you can work the black into the crease, and you can work any other darker color. It could be the darker gray, it could be, but I'm just wanting to put the black to get that really dramatic look going on. So you can see how I'm starting to build that up. I actually prefer it without the black. I just think the colors are so pretty. Kind of darkening it and making it more dramatic takes away as opposed to adding. But I just wanted to show the options on camera. So anyway, that is one way that I would use these shadows. And I would also make sure when you start putting that black in to blend, 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 so that you get that smoothness. Since I'm blending it right now, I can even see it. The shadows just blend so beautifully that if you put too much with these Viseart shadows, you can just make it work perfectly, as they are so great at blending. And then the last thing I'm going to say is, as I put more on here, this is now becoming a little bit too pink. If I were to do a look darker like this, I would actually take a really light pink lipstick. And I'll do that really quickly. I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to put one of those on, and then you can see it, and then that'll be the end of the video. So thank you. I'm going to say that now because I'm just going to do one quick flash of the pink at the end. Actually, pink or purple. We'll see what I decide. And please subscribe on YouTube, and this was a suggestion video. So if you have suggestions for videos, please let me know. Thanks very much. Alright, so this is the light pink. You can see how it totally transforms the look of the eyeshadow, and I was actually playing around with this one the other day, but I figured most people aren't going to wear this look, so I would just go with something a little bit more neutral. But this is a lipstick by La Masqua, which is my new brand I've been playing with, called Plunge. But there are tons of lipsticks like this lighter kind of pink. I don't know, this one's kind of more unusual than most, but I think it's been widely copied, quite frankly. I was surprised when I got this how much I recognized it. And then I also was playing with this purple, this lighter. You can see, and this looks really pretty with this palette too. These kind of hard to wear, hard to match, muted but yet bright kind of shades that were really trendy for a little bit. They work really well with these types of colors.